بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Inshallah, today we'll be discussing, I'll be starting the second bab. So if you recall, we said this was the first bab. So the book is split into three categories. القسم الأول في الاسم, القسم الثاني في الفعل, and القسم الثالث في الحرف. So there are three qisms, three main sections. And then in each section, we have, in the first section, in ism, we had two babs. Al-bab al-awwal, fil ism al-mu'rab. We've completed that bab. And now we're going on to al-bab al-thani, fil ism al-mabni. So in a recap of the ism al-mu'rab, we had the muqaddimah. We had in there what is an ism, what is the rule of an ism al-mu'rab, the types of ism al-mu'rab, munsarif, ghayr munsarif. Then we had the marfu'at, the mansubat. He had one majroor, but most books have majroor wrong. Then the 5 tawabi'. Do you understand? Yes, so the 8 marfu'. Then we have the 12, yes? The 12 mansubat. And then the 2 majroor. Okay, and then the 5 tawabi'. This was the mu'rabat. Okay. Now we're going on to al-ism al-mabni. Al-bab al-thani fil ism al-mabni. Now, Ism al-Mabni, we're going to have an introduction first. Then we have 8 fasal, 8 sections or 8 types of Mabni we're going to be discussing, inshallah. Okay? Yes? Okay. Wahuwa. Huwa is referring to Mabni. Wahuwa. Ay al-Ism al-Mabni, Ismun waqa'a ghayra murakkabin ma'a ghayrihi. So this is ma'tuf alayh. And the ma'tuf is coming later on. So he's mentioning here at the beginning one type of mabni which is not really important. He says here, if you have an ism, a noun, which occurs without being joined, or joined, I'm not sure which one, with something else. Basically, if you say a word on its own, if I say alif, is a marfu, mansub, majroor, there's no amil, so you can't give an i'rab. So it's mabni. Ba, ta, sa, or wahid, ithnan, thalatha. There's no amil. Or zaid, wahdahu. If I say zaid alone, is a marfu' mansub majroor. There's no amil, so it is mabni. You can say, well, you can become mahzufat, but it doesn't really matter. So if something occurs, if something what? Occurs on its own, without a structure, you say this is mabni. But he explains this. Now let me explain something to you here. Okay. What are these? What are these? Grapes. So bil fa'li. Actually, right now, these are all things we discuss in logic and mantiq in its current form. Okay, in its current form. Okay, so this bil fa'li, these are grapes, aren't they? Right now they're grapes. But if it could be made into what? What's this? A bottle of red wine, or it can become vinegar. So this in its current form is what? Grapes. But bil quwwa, we say here, potentially. Bil quwwa, it has the quwwa, the strength, the ability. So actually, these are grapes. Bil quwwa, potentially, they can be wine or vinegar. Do you understand? So the word bil fa'il means actually, and the word bil quwwa means potentially. So you've got the two terminologies. These are terminologies of mantiq. You have mantiq. So many people don't study this, or they don't study it properly. Just like a side note, it's very important. I call it logic. Okay. So bil fa'li and bil quwwa. Now, and a lot of our books of in the Daras Nizami, a lot of the books that they've written, they just understood. Like for example, when you have a tafsir of the Quran, well, it's not written very simply or very modern tafsir, but generally, like Al-Baydawi, Nasafi, Zamakhshari, all of them would assume you know the basis of Nahwa. So similarly, all of our textbooks would assume you know the basis of mantiq. So a lot of the terminologies come in the books. Like for example, dal, madlul, we got here bil quwwa, bil fa'al, is a standard thing that everybody knows. So he's saying here, فَإِنَّهُ, these type of words, Zayd on its own, Wahid on its own, Alif on its own, without being in a structure. These are mabniyun bil fa'al ala sukun. They are actually mabni ala sukun. So bil fa'al, actually. So actually or currently, in its current form, they are what? Mabniyun bil fa'li. They're actually mabni when they occur on their own. Wa mu'rabun bil quwwa. Potentially they're mu'rab. So as soon as you put them into a sentence, they become mu'rab. Ja'a Zaydun, ra'aytu Zaydan, marartu bi Zaydin. But he's added this in. Even Kafir doesn't have this, and even Qatun Nada, none of the books have this. I mean, it's first qism of your word on its own being mu'rab, and when it comes in a tarkeeb. If you remember at the beginning, when you describe mu'rab, it says here, يُرُكِّبَ مَعَ غَيْرِهِ, when it occurs in a tarkeeb. So he's saying if it doesn't occur in a tarkeeb, it's mabni. But anyways, this is where the real thing starts from here. So the first one is, mabni is, ismun waqa'a ma ghayrihi aw. So ismun, ma'atuf alayh, a noun which either this or this. Aw shabaha mabni al-asli. Shabaha resembles. Now the philosophy here is, again, the language this was spoken and then the rules were developed later on. But when you analyze and try to codify the language, you realize, wow, it really makes a lot of sense. How these Arabs came to this conclusion, how they start speaking naturally with such logic, it is unbelievable. So he says here, Shabaha mabni al-asl. So what he's saying here, that you have mabni al-asl and non-mabni al-asl. What is mabni al-asl? The main mabni you have here, I think I've explained this before, but I couldn't find it in the PowerPoints. You have harf, you have fa'il, and you have ism. Okay? So all huruf are what? Mabni. All huruf are mabni. Fa'il should also be mabni, because i'rab is just there to express the state. And fa'il doesn't have a state. Yes, they're marfu', mansoob, majzoom, but that doesn't show the grammatical function. So, an ism, this should be what? Mu'rab. Correct? However, so that's why huruf are mabni al-asl, also fa'il, but within the fa'il mudari' is called fa'lul mudari'. Dhara'a yudari'u mudara'atan. That fa'il which resembles a noun. So mudari' means to resemble. We've done this before, I think. Resembles. So because of fa'il mudari', so let's make this in a proper table. So let's say here we have a table. So we have the three types of words. We have harf, we have fa'il, and we have ism. So this is going to be mabni. Okay. Then in here we have mudari', we have madin. Let's put amr first. Amr and madin. Okay. This is also going to be mabni. The amr, the Ahlul Basra says mabni, Ahlul Kufa says majzoom, but the Ahlul Basra people follow their mazhab. So this is mabni. Mudari' resembles ism, and we will explain that later on how it resembles. So this becomes mu'rab. This becomes what? Mu'rab. And ism are mu'rab. Excellent. In ism, you have two types. You have mutamakkin and غير mutamakkin. And then you have to, but then this is what? Resembles. Oh, you say here. شابه المبنية, i.e. it resembles a harf. المبني الأصل is a harf. And then this will also be what? Mabni. So the harf is mabni, amr madi is mabni muttafaq alay, Amr in the Basriyin is mabni, in the Kufiyin is majzoom, and mudari everybody says is mu'rab. Isms are mu'rab unless the ism resembles the harf. So if it resembles the harf, then we'll also take the rule of a harf. And the rule of a harf is that it is mabni. Does that make sense? Everybody following me here? Anything? Correct. Mabni al-sukun al-fath al-dam. That's coming up shortly. Yes? Yep. The question is, that is when we said here that when a word is غير مركب, is a default not marfu? Yes, some have said that. So this taqsim that Hidayatun Nahw, that when a word is not in a tarkib, it becomes mabni. It's not unanimous. That's his way of saying it. Other books have not mentioned this. So this is only his ijtihad, his opinion. So some have said they haven't even mentioned this mu'rabun bil quwwa, mabni bil fa'il. They said, well, default can be marfu. They haven't even discussed this. So that is not a muttafaq alayh. It's not that's not the end on. That's not the official mas'ala. Many of them is not even gone into this discussion. Okay, so you don't have to say, well, agree with that, what he's saying there. Okay? That's only his opinion. He's got a few tafarrudat where he's mentioned. Okay? Yeah. You've understand this now here? The harf fan ism mabni al-asl. So the asl, the primary intrinsic quality of an ism is that it should be mu'rab. However, if it resembles a harf in any way, then it will adopt the rule of a harf, which is bina. Now, so ism originally is mu'rab, and that's the asl. Some isms are mabni if they have mushabahatuhu bil harf. If the ism has mushabaha, it matches the harf in any way, then we make this ism mabni. How is the mushabaha? In isti'mal. The first way that a noun, that's badalul ghalat. The first way that a noun resembles a harf is in this. Tahtaju ila ma. What's this? Yutimmu. That's a mistake here. Ila ma yatimmu ma'nahu. Remember the beginning what we say? Wal harfu kalimatun la tadullu ala ma'nan fi nafsihi. It does not show a complete meaning in itself. And we said the word fi, the meaning of fi is zarfiyya, but the meaning of fi is not complete until we mention al-bayt, mathalan. Similarly, if you have a word whose meaning is not complete without the word after it, for example, هذا, or well, هذا حرف التنبيه, but for example, ذا, or for example, أين. So these words need something to complete its meaning. Okay? So in that aspect, the noun resembles the harf. Similarly, wada', its coinage, or I would say here, is physical makeup. It's physical makeup or structure. Huruf, all huruf, they occur on 2 or 1 letter. So if an ism has 2 or 1 letter, it will also be mabni. So for example, even here, man, it's mawsul, man. So that can become in here as well, depending on how you look at it. Or ma'nawi. For example, it has a meaning of a harf. I will explain that as we go along. Okay? So if any of these three, there's more detail in Al-Fiqh ibn Malik and Awdah al-Masalik, etc. But he just mentioned these, so we'll keep to what he's mentioned here. So, an ism, which is waqa'a ghayra murakkabin, that's his opinion, he's mentioned that. But this is now where the real thing starts. Any ism which resembles a mabni al-asl. And mabni al-asl is what? A harf. And how does it resemble the مبني الأصل? بأن يكون في الدلالة, and some say دلالة, this both is the same masdar. That, number one, it is يكون محتاجا. It is needy. It is needy, or it needs. It needs في الدلالة الدلالة على معناه, to show its meaning. To show its meaning, it needs a qarina. It needs something, some kind of context. For example, kal ishara, ha'ula'i wa nahwiha. When you say ha'ula, we understand the meaning of ishara, but we don't know who we're pointing at. So without the ha'ula and without the musharun ilay, the meaning of this noun is not complete. The meaning of this noun is incomplete. The same way the meaning of fi is incomplete. Do you understand the first aspect? The second aspect, أو يكون على أقل من ثلاثة أحرف, or it has less than 3 letters. أو تضمن معنى من معنى الحرف نحو ذا ومن. Now, in our copies of Hidayatun Nahw, and even most of the copies, they have the نحو ذا ومن here. A few other copies, they put this نحو part here. So this ذا ومن is actually an example of less than 3 letters. So this should actually go here. But the nuskha has it here. Some nuskhas have it here. So basically, in some books, this is not here. Is already nahu, and here is nahu dha wa man. So the dha wa man comes after thalathat ahruf. But the copies that we have, they have nahu dha wa man here. So it's like 2 types, and the examples come afterward. This is an example of this. And this is the example of this. So man and dha and man is the example of where a noun comes on less than 3 letters. Because it comes on less than 3 letters, we say this is what? Mabni. This is also mabni. And ahada ashara until tis'ata ashara, they have a meaning of a noun, of a harf built in. Because ahada ashara is really what? Ahadun wa ashara. So the waw is removed from inside, all the way to tis'ata ashar. So 11 to 19, these numbers, they don't have a waw in the middle. They only have the others. For example, when you go to ishrun or thalathun, ahadun wa thalathun, ithnani wa thalathun, you can add the waw in between. Here you don't add the waw. Yes? Correct? So because ahada ashara, the waw is not there. So it has a mushabaha with a harf because it has a meaning of a waw inbuilt. That's why it becomes mabni. So these are the types of ism. So these ism resemble the mabni al-asl, which is a harf. So because they resemble the harf, it takes a quality of, it adopts a quality of the harf, which is bina, becoming mabni. Understood? وَهَذَا الْقِسْمُ لَا يَصِيرُ مُعْرَبًا أَصْلًا. So according to him, like this one, مَا وَقَأَ غَيْرَ مُرَكَّبٍ, they are مَبْنِيٌّ بِالْفَعْلِ مُعْرَبٌ بِالْقُوَّةِ. Currently, they are mabni when they're on its own, according to the opinion of Zayd. But when you put it in a tarkib, it becomes mu'arab. So this is both mabni and mu'arab, according to his definition. But these never become mu'arab. These are always mabni. So these words are always mabni. Okay? But remember, he's put mu'arab and mabni separate. But mu'arab and i'rab is different. Mabni words are always mabni, but they have i'rab, meaning i'rab taqdiri, or i'rab mahalli. Not taqdiri, i'rab mahalli. They will have a slot in the sentence. وَحُكْمُهُ أَلَّا يَخْتَلِفَ. And his rule is that its ending does not change because of the awamil. Where the amil you have, هَؤُلَاءِ is always مبني على السكون. هَؤُلَاءِ. That is مبني السكون. No, هَؤُلَاء is مبني الكسر, sorry. على الكسر. So هَؤُلَاءِ. Man is مبني على السكون always. It never changes. Okay? وحركاته تسمى ضما وفتحا وكسرا وسكونه وقفا. And the harakat of the mabni words, when it's mabni al dham, fath, kasr, and when it's sukun, you call it waqf. You can call it mabni al sukun as well. You don't usually mabni al waqf, you say mabni al sukun. But sukun is called waqf. Understood? Yes? And now he's giving a list, and he'll discuss the list later on. وَهِيَ عَلَى ثَمَانِيَةِ أَنْوَاءٍ. There are 8 types of mabni, and he discussed each one of them in their own context. Al-muzmarat, all the dhama'ir. Because most of the dhama'ir, they're less than 3 letters. Most of them. And those that are 3 letters, then we join them with the asl. So ana, ta, tu. So then we join ka, kuma, kum. So anta, antuma will then be made subservient to the main ones. Ismul ishara, they need the mushara ilay to give the meaning. Al-mawsulat, asma'ul af'al, al-aswat, al-murakkabat, and al-kinayat, and some zuruf. So these are 8 types of words which are mabni. Okay, and he discussed each one of them in 8 fasl. That's why the mabni, the ismul babu thani fil ism mabni will have 8 fasl, and each fasl will describe this, will explain each one individually. Okay, any questions? No questions? Okay. Subhanallah bihamdi subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.